it's so difficult because usually he's the playmaker. He's the one, he plays his 2 or 3 heroes, usually the Invoker, Void Spirit Lash, he makes the rotations, and usually that's the catalyst for the cut to get a lot done in their games. So without him, it really is going to feel harsh. And while we do have Tingle King Legion Commander, it matches up pretty well versus the Viper, and it is pretty easy for him to punish that Warlock. But again, I feel like Tomato's going to end up on a hero that no matter what Tingle King ends up playing, it's just going to be a farm fest. He's going to duel the lane as much as he can, and if they pick up Scourge's hero here, they're just going to immediately counter it with whatever from Tomato. Okay, they're trying to get ahead of the curve with the Morph, but
The
what does
Morphling
Tomato
pick.
want?
That is an interesting one, and honestly, as you were sort of alluding to, it seems a little bit risky for the cut. I understand, like you were saying, trying to get out in front of it, trying to just sort of throw something out there that Undying maybe won't be quite as prepared to deal with, but the Morph, to me, almost epitomizes that sort of high-risk, high-reward sort of playstyle. Sure, it does spectacular amounts of damage, it's an incredibly mobile hero at times as well, but if Undying have the lockdown, the Morphling is potentially just going to sort of fall apart at a certain point in this game.
Well, and I'm searching for the heroes. Of course, Tomato could play whatever he wants at this point. Usually we see the Morphling almost picked in response to, let's say, Medusa, which could very well be picked up by Undying, but at the same time, I just don't know. Again, there's so many what-ifs coming out from the cut right now. They need to survive this Viper lane. They need to get a semblance of farm. They need to make these rotations, and here's where they flip the script. Is this going to be a Saberlight Enigma? Probably. Is this going to be a Brile Viper? Maybe, but they've completely sort of inundated this Morphling now. Scourge is going to lose a creep every single wave, and this is the power of picking this Viper so early on. They've kept that sort of standard going forward, and they just flip it wherever they want. I feel like they're very happy with their draft right now.
Right, a high degree of flexibility, let's call it, for Undying, and now that flexibility appears to be sort of paying off. That Enigma just going to be rough to deal with. The cut don't have the best ways to sort of deal with that black hole, and of course, if you get something along the lines of a BKB, those means of actually cutting him off become even fewer, in number. So the cut can deal with it, theoretically speaking, but it is going to be incredibly painful to do so. As we move into the final phase of those bans, Undying, gonna start us off with the Rubik here. The cut, meanwhile, yeah, they're just gonna keep on banning out carries. There's really no other way forward for them. The Phantom Lance are taken away here, while Undying will close out the bans with the removal of the Winter Wyvern.
Well, and they're just taking out the Pingu pool. I mean, they're securing their hero picks again. Their draft's been very, very, very cut and dry. They're taking out the heroes that counter their heroes. There's really no other reading into it. And now that you've picked up this Morphling, it really cements your draft where now you have Viper versus Magnus mid. There's no real way for you to sort of spin it. You get 2 more pot shots at Tomato's hero pool, but you've waited for, what, ultimate last pick to pick up Pingu's hero. You're trying to get a comfort hero, I'm assuming, for Wage to play, which is, again, just the stand-in, and I feel like Undying, this is such an Undying draft that it's going to be a really painful game for the cut. Because right now, they don't have those super rotators. They don't have the sort of super farmers. You've ended up picking Morphling when you have a Magnus, which isn't the worst. It is percentage damage increase, but you don't have that cleave synergy. So, again, it feels like a really hard draft for the cut to pull off right now.
Yeah, they seem to have their work cut out for them, and at this point, we haven't even seen the carry option for Undying, so life could get quite a bit more difficult here for the cut, but the good news for them is they do have last pick, so at the end of the day, they are going to be afforded a little bit more to work with that final selection, but at this point, it's going to have to be a pretty damn good one to get them out of this situation right now, although Undying may want to pick it up a little bit. 3 seconds on the clock before they do finally make their choice, and it will be the Ursa.
The only 2 heroes I could really think of here were Slark or Ursa, and with the way that Ursa's played now, we'll see what he ends up going for, whether he sticks to the very tried and true Battle Fury style, or if he goes for the sort of the New Age Diffusal build, which would probably own the Morphling, where you rush a Diffusal Blade, you get it extremely quickly, and you just start running around, you're just the bear. You just start killing people, and there's not much they can do about it if they don't have mana. It's a classic counter to Legion Commander as well. I feel like Undying are incredibly happy with their draft. They've really just played it to every tee.
Yeah, absolutely. The Cuts heroes not exactly having the largest mana pools in the world there, so some of that burn could affect them quite significantly, as the Wind Ranger will be the call for the cut with that final selection.
Okay, and they're switching it around, so now it's going to be a 5 Legion Commander. Because they got counterpicked in the last phase when they picked up the Saberlight Enigma, making that a Brile Viper. You can...
Yeah, this is, well, on paper, something that seems a little bit rough for them, but we'll see what they can do. Just one moment there. So, there we go. Should be getting ready to go in just another minute or two as... Oh, here we go. Game 1 officially underway. The cut going to be on the Radiant half of the map. And meanwhile, Undying hanging out on the Dyers. We do get things underway here.
Yeah, and I mean, time to be more hype, right? BTS Pro Series 6 first game. We'll see how it comes out, but it should be an interesting one at least. If anything, the cut, they don't have a boring draft. They've tried to make their small victories where they could, but again, Undying, they're just such a strong team. They've proven themselves time and time again, and we'll see. There's a lot of heroes coming to the bot side of the map, but maybe just a ward.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry. Doing some stuff on the backside here, so the hype is coming. The hype is here. I am good to go. Hopefully you are as well. Just trying to take care of some, again, behind the curtains sort of stuff. But yeah, this is, well, a relatively hype matchup. Normally you wouldn't really think so. As we mentioned at the start of the draft, the cut have not been the most impressive in recent times. But the interregional matchup here is always something that you do still have to pay attention to. The cut, yeah, sure. They didn't win a game on the pro circuit. That is unfortunate for them. The upper division did sort of slam them back down a little bit, but this is about really just sort of pride and rivalry at this point. So you never really know. Sure, they've got 2 stand-ins. It's not a great situation, right? There's no beating around the bush on that front. But they're looking to make something happen here. They're looking to make a statement. We've got really potentially only about a month or so, maybe slightly more than that, before we start getting into those TI qualifiers. So now is the time to really get yourself on the same page with your teammates and push your way forward to try and make that final surge to potentially get a spot at TI 10.
Yeah, and those supporter packs, if anything, you know, do it for the fans, right? We're all buying those 20-tier supporter packs. Those voice lines are very, very powerful, especially spam it, kill someone. It's better than a tip, I think, at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when little Nick's yelling at you.
I have seen some people tilting off the face of the earth with those voice lines. They are honestly kind of fantastic. But with that, well, we are going to be getting things underway here, taking a look at the bottom lane first. Morphling and Legion Commander laning up against the Enigma Tusk duo, and honestly, this one feels like it could get a little bit rough for the Morphling. You were talking about it during the draft, the fact that that Enigma was just going to be potentially taking away one of those creeps in just about every single wave, so the Morph may be in for a bit of a rough time here early on.
Well, and you see, I'm not sure if they do let the small camp spawn, but Saberlight just microing one Eidolon to sit in that large camp. And at least the Legion Commander does sort of get them low, so if Moon Meander does sort of mosey on to another lane, maybe try to snipe a water rune, there will be some vulnerability for those Eidolons, but again, Scourge is just going to have to take a lot of these creeps under tower. He's just going to have to keep taking a lot of these sort of bad trades, whereas we just see supports are fighting cores for farm at this point because of how separated the lanes have gotten.
Yeah. Pingu honestly just straight up doing his best here, throwing out the overwhelming odds pretty frequently, so it's gonna do some damage, which at this point really I think is the best you could hope for the cut. Just try and burn through some of that region and hope that that puts you in a better position later on down the line.
They're just feeding into him, but that's what they need to worry about. If they get hit 6 Eidolons, 2 heroes, and an overwhelming odd, it will do a lot of damage, but to a certain degree, I think they're going to be very happy with this lane. Some mid lane got really low for a second.
Yeah, Wage dangerously low on HP there, going up against Bryle. That's never a situation you want to be in, but the Wind Ranger will fall back. The problem is, that gives Viper a pretty substantial amount of control in this lane. He hadn't pulled ahead too massively, I would say, in terms of the last hit count. You take a look at the numbers here, 9 and 4 for him, 7 and 1 for Wage, but if he can just sort of, to a certain extent, try to bully the Wind Ranger out of this lane, he is going to be set up for quite a bit, which right-click trying to bully a Wind Ranger, always a little bit concerning, but Bryle is, Jesus, look at him go. He actually might just get first blood here.
Oh, no.
And he get it, one more hit, there it is. First blood for Bryle, just as we were saying, right on cue. He goes straight in there. He is not afraid of the Wind Ranger right now. She has nothing to protect herself at that point.
And if anything, it's not even greed coming in from Wage, but it's just the punishment. He knows the cooldown of the Wind Run. He's got this matchup on lock. Even had the corrosive skin level 1 because he knows the trades. He knows he's not going to waste his mana. And again, Moon Meander, he was able to make that rotation to the bottom lane because the wave is all the way back. So as even just a little rotation coming in from Moon, meaning Wage has to make the choice. Am I just going to sit here with an empty bottle for 2 minutes, or am I going to walk back to base? It sort of sucks to say, but dying isn't the worst thing that could have happened. Oh.
Always a bit of a strange situation there. Meanwhile, haven't really talked much about this top lane. To be fair, not really a whole lot going on. Tomato's just sort of living life, enjoying himself right now. Dubu's here to support him with both the heal, and now you see the Fatal Bonds coming into play. So, Tingle King might want to be a little bit careful here. Good stun, though, in from Giant. That's going to basically put an end to that aggression. But at this point, the Ursa really doesn't have to be all that afraid of too much. The only thing I can see here is maybe an LSA into a skewer play if he gets that far forward. But you see Tomato playing fairly disciplined here. He is not going to fall into that kind of bait.
Oh, and it's just the discipline that's coming in, tried and true from Undying. They're not going to sort of give up a lot of these easy kills, I don't think. If anything, Tomato, he knows he's got a Warlock. He's going to get healed up. He can really play in sort of whatever pace he wants to play in. And Tingle King, while he will be able to get some sort of standard farm, he is leading the CS on his team. It's, again, a lane that you're going to be drawing. Oh, Moon got his mortal piece back. Oh, Scourge.
Losing the courier there. That's... well, hold on. Well, I suppose Moon's just that good, but Scourge, he's already holding under the tower. I can't imagine, well, having to sort of lose your courier in that instance as well. You would think under normal circumstances, you're playing so far back that courier would presumably be safe to make its move, but Moon, yeah, he's wily, he's experienced, he's a veteran, he knows exactly how to make those plays to really hurt that Morphling even further.
And I mean, that's all of his gold. Up until that point, he didn't spec in any more regen. He does have, you know, a Legion commander here that will be able to purge off the Malphite, give him a little bit of heals, but after this, the HP that he has right now, that's it. Up until this courier respawns, he's sort of all in, so unless Pingu can sort of change the tides here. Okay, Pingu's got the support, but again, this lane, I feel like there are so many moments where we're seeing Scourge sitting under his tower waiting for his people to be here, and top they got a kill.
Yeah, Tomato just chases Giant down. No fear there. Tingle King, really not much of a factor on that one. The Ursa just continued to push forward, had to dive the tower for just a moment or two, but he comes away with the kill. So all in all, this Ursa not going to be feeling too bad about that one. First kill for Tomato in this match. Meanwhile, mid, Pingu going for a bit of a rotation. He's going to run right into Moonmander, and this is not a fun situation for him. Ice Shard's coming through. Bryle hits him up with the Viper Strike, and how do you get out of this one? Pingu's going to try for it, but I doubt he's going to make it. One more hit. Nope. Bryle just gets it with the DOT.
And it's all of this space that's really allotted because of this Saberlight Enigma. They were able to kill Dubu top, but again, he's just gonna TP top, respawn full mana. I'm sure he does not care about any deaths in this lane. Meanwhile, Tomato though.
Yeah, that might be a bit of an issue. The Ursa jumping himself away with the Earth Shock, only level 1, but oh. Wow, Tingle King. That is maybe a bit of a mistake. Loses about half his HP to the Overpower, but he's still going, and now Wage is coming in. Haste Rune gets him into the fight. Can Tomato survive this? Power Shot is off the mark. And Tomato will live. Wage, though, not even going to get the courier. Wow. It's good instinct, rotating top with the haste rune. I do like that play. It's just the results are not quite there. Seems like they were just maybe that slightest bit off in terms of their overall coordination, and it does cost them what would have been an insanely valuable kill onto that Ursa. Now Tomato, I mean, he wants back in. For shocking his way forward, Giant, there's, I was going to say nothing he could do, but the LSA is actually well placed, and he may very well live. No, Shadow Word's going to take him down. Little bit too hyped up for that one. Thought Giant could maybe live, but Dubu says no, absolutely not.
Wow. But again, it's just how bad this sort of mid lane has come. And again, you want to sort of look at a lineup in its whole, and really every single cog in the Undying draft is sort of playing off each other. And now Saberlight, they're just running at bottom. They have Black Hole. They probably won't use it, but every single time they make a rotation on Undying, it's a forcing move that the cut don't want to make, and maybe Wage is able to kill Moon down here, but oh no.
That power shot had to hit. Pingu himself doesn't have the damage or the mana to keep that one going, so Moonbander just gets out, and here's where things get a little bit rough. You're about 8 minutes in, it's a 2k net worth lead for Undying, and if you're the cut, you're trying not to panic, you're trying not to overreact, but that was 4 heroes into the bottom lane for no kills.
And now you'll see these heroes are completely dislodged. You'll see Pingu and Giant just doing a lot of walking around. At least Tingle King is able to get sort of a lot of soul XP. The wave was pushing in. But the bigger issue is Wage, where he really has no semblance of farm. We've been seeing Bryle more or less just farming his small camp. That's really the big accelerator. Bryle is just really just owning it up. And Saberlight got a soul kill bottom.
Black Hole deployed there. Scourge didn't have any backup. Just, I don't know. Inexcusable is maybe a bit too harsh, but you cannot afford to leave your carry alone in that situation. You know Saberlight is getting that ult online. That just seems like too big of a risk to take, especially considering the fact that you're already sort of down by several thousand net worth at this point.
Well, and you see sort of on their faces right now, they're wondering, who do we make plays with? How do we make plays? Because now this Viper is starting to become the monster. Who's going to come to deal with this hero? They need to get almost like a lucky skewer underneath the tower and then somehow manage to kill him. I think he just bought out his Boots of Travel right now, 9 minutes into the game. Wage can barely walk up to the creep waves, and this is the issue. It feels like there's no give and pull right now in the game. Oh, Bryle got 2 items. Maybe this is the kill, but
Tango going in for it. The RP will be deployed. Dubu there immediately throwing out the heal. Will that be enough, though? Bryle is still dropping pretty low here, but the reinforcements will arrive. Bryle just gotta dance his way around. Okay, that certainly helps. Snowball comes in defensively, and Bryle will survive. 2 kills going the way of Undying. Actually, why not 3? Giant, little too late to the party. He will be punished for it. Tomato picks up the kill, and in all of that, the cut failed to get the kill that they wanted in the first place. They were going after the Viper. Not only do they fail to get him, they lose 3, and this is starting to get a little bit out of hand just 10 minutes into the match.
And again, every single rotation coming in from Undying has been incredibly clean, it's been incredibly happy, and whenever you weave these sort of lanes in this sort of standard, and I don't know, I guess they're trying to TP in as many heroes, they want to keep this mid tower, but you weave this Morphling versus Enigma matchup going, and it's just a level discrepancy. We already saw him get soul killed once, and I can't imagine Scourge is happy in this lane. He's probably incredibly unhappy, but when does he go? It feels like the cut, they're going to consistently boost their towers because of the lead they've sort of given away, and we'll just continue to see this gold lead sort of explode.
And that tower will be taken, so at this point, Scourge, you were wondering sort of when does he go? It might just have to be now. There's no longer a tier 1 here to defend him, and Moonmeander is rotating his way back in. Maleficent will be dropped down. Not really looking for much more than that, but Saberlight just, you know, bit of a heat check, making sure that the Morphling is aware of what exactly he can do to him, but we do see the rotation coming up top. 2 heroes smoked. Scourge TPs his way in. Can they make this one happen? Tomato is sort of suspecting something's going down, and now his reinforcements will arrive as well. They're going to jump in onto the Magnus first, trying to bring Tingle King down. Nice skewer, though. No RP to follow it up, but they do dodge out that Chaotic Offering. The Laguna Blade now deployed, and Moonmeander will be taken down. So they do find 1 kill. Tingle King, though, got to be careful. Those Fatal Bonds really starting to drop him low, but it looks like he's going to be just fine. They even pick up the Golem at the end of that play as well, so all things considered, that goes about as well as I think you could have reasonably expected.
And if anything, just a slight misplay from Dubu. The No Man Rock, it really hurt. You hate to see it. He was trying to catch the Magnus before he was able to get the skewer off on the two heroes. And it was a good combination play. They were able to find something, but that something was just a Moon Meander kill. It's just a Tusk. And that's the issue sort of right now, where the cut, they're just sort of stumbling over each other trying to make the plays right now, whereas everybody on Undying, they're just farming. They're farming so quickly. You already have a Blink Dagger and Black Hole again up on Saberlight, and as soon as they want to take a full 5-man engagement, the Undying's just going to win. They're going to win that fight. The cut need to be a lot scrappier. They need to keep finding those sort of plays, and if anything, get a little bit lucky, because I think that's the only way they win this game.
And now that Diffusal Blade you were talking about in the draft picked up by Tomato, so if you're the cut, you have to try and keep your distance from this Ursa. Obviously, that's how you play against the Ursa in general, but now that separation is even more important. Tomato's just going to absolutely punish these heroes with that mana burn as Pingu taking down bot. Saberlight and Moon Meander doing it up. No Black Hole needed. They just have the damage and the lockdown to find the kill themselves. And meanwhile, back up top, what's going on here? Tomato? Yeah, okay, never mind. Hit up by the LSA. Yeah. Thought they were going to go in for that.
I keep seeing the pings on the map. They're trying to figure out a way to kill Brile. They're finding a way to find a play on the Tomato, but again, it's almost child's play, and I think Tingle King can forfeit.
That's not ideal, to say the least. Tingle King taken down. There's the Black Hole from Saberlight in onto 2. Giant, though, not caught in it. LSA goes down. That Black Hole does not last long, but Undying continue to press their way forward. Brile's involved now, and the Lina is going to be taken down immediately. But that does allow Pingu and Wage to fall back, or maybe not. Tomato just charging his way into the jungle like he wanted to keep that chase going, but you're an Ursa. You're fast, but you're not that fast. I don't think he's going to catch up to anybody unless Wage gets baited back into the engagement, but yeah, he's not going to fall for that one.
And you see they're just immediately diving in for Scourge now. They want to try to get him in a situation. This is a really hard kill no matter what, but Moon's going to try to get him with the snowball. They actually got him.
Diffusal is there, into the Malphus, into the Walrus Punch. He is shifting towards strength as much as possible, looking to TP out now as well, but there it is. The snowball will come through, and Scourge just can't seem to catch a break. The man just struggling so much here. 2 deaths on the board. His net worth is the highest on his team, but compared to anyone else, any other core on Undying.
The Viper.
Oh boy, he is very low on low on net worth. My mistake. Is Brile gonna get himself caught out here. Nice skewer play initially from Tingle King. The duel actually comes in as well. The Laguna will even be deployed, and they do find the pickoff, but now Dubu's in there with the Chaotic Offering, and this is where things are going to turn. Pingu taken down right away. Wage on the run in the tree line. The snowball, though, will lock him down. Nice shackle to buy some time, but you sort of locked down the wrong hero. Tomato continues to push his way in, and that will be a double kill for the Ursa. And at this point, they may not be done. They're still trying to track down Tingle King. Excuse me.
He can't TP.
Oh, no. He cancels it. That wasn't going to work out anyway, but if you try to complete the TP, you're dead. If you cancel the TP, you're dead.
And
so,
Giant.
Oh, Giant. Caught out there. He really should have just backed out when he had the chance. Tomato, though, able to catch him out. 4 kills in the fight. 3 of them go to the Ursa. That fight recap can't possibly catch all of that. That fight was broken up about over, what, 2 minutes or so? So
yeah, it was quite the long engage, but you still do lose Brile, but at what cost at this point? All of the plays just seem so easy from Undying. It's 3 to 16, 17 net worth. They tried for the duel, they tried to get the damage. If anything, it was kind of a close timing because Dubu didn't have Chaotic Offering to immediately save Brile there, even though he did end up getting a 4-man rock. Still, it doesn't matter. You've got this huge bear now, he has a Blink Dagger. Giant's game is more or less over at this point. There's no way for him to sort of survive up, and at the same time, it's another hero that can just successfully run at Scourge, and you see he's going for the Manta style, but again, all of this farm is getting pummeled. Oh boy.
There's no way out at that point. Speaking of no way out, oh boy, Tingle King, he's caught out as well. Southside Jungle is no longer your territory, as Undying are just marching their way in there. Back-to-back kills in the middle lane, and this is turning into, well, a slaughter, really. I mean, trying to find a nicer way to put it, but they are just getting beat up at every possible opportunity.
And Moon Meander, he's too smart for this. He knows exactly what's sort of going on here. He sees the campus farm that he's pinging out. Oh no, Scourge, you gotta run fast.
Gonna try to get himself away. The snowball, though, will be there. Oh, it's just, it's fantastic play from Undying. Let's not take even the slightest bit of credit away from them, but watching this, it's starting to get a little, it hurts me in my soul, basically. The cut just can't seem to find any traction for themselves. They're just getting caught out over and over again. Their opponents have put together a pace of over a kill per minute. And at this point, barring some sort of miraculous, maybe RP play from the mag. Oh, okay, speaking of RP plays, they managed to get it, but here comes Saber Light in with the Black Hole, catching out everybody, and this is just going to be an absolute disaster. The Fatal Bonds thrown in by Dubu, just a middle finger to the side of the cut there on the back end, as they will clean up absolutely everyone, no casualties on their own side.
It's not their fault. They didn't know. They were playing around the sentries. If anything, it was Saberlight sort of coaxing them into a false sense of security, and they just keep on looking for kills. They're trying to find the people in Moon. They just keep on reading the map correctly time and time again, and this is what makes you a Div 1 team. A Div 1 team third no less, and it really is starting to show the difference in experience between these teams right now.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Undying were still in it up until really the final day. That series against, I believe, Quincy Crew was really what kind of cost them their opportunity. So, sure, they're not going to the major, but they were incredibly close. This is a team that honestly might be a little bit upset about the way that the season ended, not because of any shenanigans, just because they missed out on that opportunity, and now they have a chance to sort of get some revenge as the Undying lineup just push their way in there. No fear. They go in with the chaotic offering, Pingu dropping low, Giant already dead, and this one's going to just fall apart. Wage standing in the Nether Toxin will be taken down, and that's it. The GG will be called. The cut have had enough.
There's just nothing you can do. There was just too much net worth. There were too many problems they had to deal with. They had those slight moments where, oh, we killed Bryle, oh, we killed maybe one or two heroes, but at the end of the day, I feel like they got a little bit too greedy with their draft. They needed to get a little bit more of a sort of mirrored standard draft coming out, whereas Undying, they did what they did pretty much the entire DPC season. They got heroes they wanted and matchups they liked, and then they just played their hearts out. Through the 26, I mean, I was wincing for some of that game. It was just a really cut and dry slaughter.
Yeah, not the most balanced of matchups. We did our best to hype it up in the beginning. It was very favorable for Undying, but, you know, the cut had a chance to sort of play the plucky underdogs here, but there's a reason why the underdog tends to lose quite a bit of the time. You take a look at the graphs at the end of that one. Undying just in charge really the whole way through. Scoreboard-wise, don't look. If you're a fan of the cut, just avert your eyes right now. It is not good for you. Undying, though, I mean, where's the weak link? Who was the one making any mistakes here? There's a couple of deaths on some of their heroes, but other than that, nearly flawless.
No hero with more than a single death, and even then, it was at what cost? It was a 4-man rock, a 3-man rock. Even the attempts they tried to make the cut just ran out of time. There's another way to put it. The time were just too fast.
Too fast, too strong, just overpowering their opponents. So, Undying jumping out to a 1-0 lead in our first series of the day. These are 2-game series, though. So, the cut will have a chance to bounce back, try and get themselves some sort of 1-1 split, but they're going to have to do quite a bit better than that. So, we'll see what they can put together. Obviously, game 1, not ideal, but a shot at redemption coming up in just a few minutes. So, stick around, folks. We'll be bringing game 2 between Undying and the cut your way in just a little bit.